All right, this is the GAT Teacher Assist tool. This particular video is going to be about the groups feature. So you get to the GAT Shield by going to a new blank page in your Chrome browser, scrolling down all the way through the cube menu until you find GAT Plus, and then it'll ask you to choose Teacher Assist, a big button, and there'll only be one button on the screen. It's the only tool you guys have access to. So you're going to click on that, and it'll take you to here. Teacher Assist is made up of classrooms and groups. Classrooms are for teachers, and it corresponds to their Google Classroom, and it pulls the roster over from Google Classroom. Groups are for our other staff at Shenandoah who have access to viewing student Chromebooks during the school hours, 7 to 4. Okay, you got to be very careful using this tool because you do not want to be viewing students' Chromebooks when they're in another class, because blocking sites and how sites are governed by whoever opens the most recent session. And that should always be the classroom teacher. It shouldn't be someone else who's opening a session that has a student that's not in front of them in the classroom at that time. So groups is going to be used by administrators, by counselors, by librarians, and by some classroom monitors for study halls and structured study halls. So you have to set up groups manually. You cannot set them up like you can in Classroom by just pulling over the rosters from Google Classroom, because you don't have a classroom. Google Classroom. So you're just going to come up here and click plus, and it's going to ask you to give it a new name for this group. So we'll call it Study Hall A Days Block 1. Right? You can have more than one teacher in a Teacher Assist group. Okay, that's if you have people that are co-teaching it with you or co-monitoring it with you. You can put both of them in there. And then here's where you add the students. You do have to add the students manually by typing in their email address or part of it, and it will search through and find that person and allow you to add them to your class. Okay, you can do that as many times as you need to get the staff of your class into the system. So add, you get them all set up. This class is set up and ready to go for you to view their Chromebooks. Okay, now I don't know where these two students are right now, so they're not in front of me, so I would not open a session with them because I could interfere with their learning in a different class. 100% got to be prepared for that and understand that feature. Okay, once you have the group set up, you're going to click exit. And then it's going to take you back to the group's main screen where you can see that class that you previously set up is there. It shows the name, it shows you as the owner, and the number of students are in it. You can then click on this plus button to start a session. And when you do that, it will show you what that student is doing in the class. Actually, here's what we can do. I can edit this group, and I can come over here to students, and I can remove both of those students, and I'll just add my test account. I'm going to pull up right here on my handy Chromebook and show you how it works from the student perspective. All right, so this is class is set up. We're going to come over here into the groups tool in the main screen, and we're going to come in here and say start session. Okay, currently it shows that student's not online, it's not logged into Chrome, and doesn't have any windows open. It only shows what they're doing in the Chrome browser. Okay, now I've opened up Chrome on that student machine and logged it in. And so in just a second, what it will do is it will refresh up here and show us what that student is looking at. If it doesn't do that, you have the ability to click up here and say reconnect, and it will go out and look again at those Chromebooks to see if they're on the network and available to be viewed. From there, you can do these things to the student, and you can come down here and see what they've looked at so far in their browsing history in any of the tabs. You can lock them to a particular tab, which in a study hall probably not going to do, and you can block the current page. Okay, that's why it's really important that you only have the kids that are in front of you in the room in an active open session, because when you see their screen come up like this and you decide to block that page for them, it's going to do it no matter where they are in the district or at home if they're in that session. So you got to make sure that only the kids who are in front of you or supposed to be in front of you at that point in time are there. So that way you don't do anything to mess with their learning in a different class. Okay, so there are features you can do for the whole class, but we're not going to talk about those right now. Really, in this case, it's just viewing what they're doing so you can walk over to them and have a quick word with them about what's appropriate for being used during study hall. okay, and what's not. Okay, so the student has no idea that you're doing it unless you do something like chat with them or block their current page. Okay, almost all of this stuff gets logged in a log file within Teacher Assist for us too. So that's the short but long version of how to use the groups tool in GAT Shield. You have to build your own classes. You can also exit a session and then go in and go to that group and add and remove people. So like if you're a librarian, maybe you're not going to do it by block or by day because the kids are always going to change that are coming into the library. Maybe what you do is just have one that says go on a library, and every period when the kids are checking in at the beginning of the block, you remove all of the old students and you add the students that are coming into the library for that block so that you can monitor what's going on during that block. All right, hopefully that's all. If you have any questions about the GAT Teacher Assist Groups function, please feel free to reach out to me.